Welcome, 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 beautiful souls. Welcome to another amazing show in the Breakthrough Lounge. I am your host, your author, your transformational speaker, and life coach. I want to give a huge shout out to Vox Wave Radio. Hey, Reggie Reg, and our phenomenal engineer, Mr. Ron himself, over there holding it down. So, you guys, I am so excited. This month, again, is Women's Month, so I'm rocking out all the amazing women in our community that are doing amazing jobs, doing just great things, and I really want to highlight them. So today, you guys, we have an amazing special guest by the name of Miss V, also known as Miss Valancia Clipper Davis. She's an amazing life coach. She's an activist in the community. She does health and wellness. She's a homeschool educator. She's just so many things. But like I say on my live, she's a master at all of these things. So you have so many people that got their hands in different things, but they don't really know what's going on in those things. They just like to say that they have them. So I have had the pleasure with working with her. She's super amazing, you guys. So don't come with the foolery, right? So you got to come correct when you step into Miss V. So I want to go ahead and introduce her and let her know all her amazing titles and what she has going on.
Thank you for the awesome introduction. I think you covered everything. I think you covered everything. I'm a homeschool provider. I run a daycare. Y'all see the scrubs. Excuse the scrubs. I am a master life coach. I practice at all levels with my life coaching. I'm a personal trainer, nutritionist. I have a management business where I manage models, artists, comedians, actors, actresses, you name it. I do it.
She do it. she do it. And like I said, a master at it. You know, I can't say that enough, because you do find so many people with a lot of different titles, and it's like, well, what do you do? What are you great at? And I just seen her move in all of these capacities, and I'm like, how you good at all of these things? This is impossible. So you guys, tonight's show, we're going to talk about mental illness and mental health in our community, especially amongst our young people that we're seeing like big in our community. And because Miss V is very known in that industry, where she's seeing this every day, probably almost, with our young people, with our adults, and why they're not going to get the help that they need, why the stigma behind mental health, like everything that is surrounded around mental health. So I want you to go ahead and explain to them like your title of, being a life coach and what that looks like when it comes to mental health.
Okay, I'm a master life coach, and with that, I practice spiritual coaching, business coaching, health and wellness. But with the mental health piece, I've always gone a little deeper, because it's so, like you said, it's a stigma around it, and a lot of people don't want to address it. But in our communities, one of the issues for us is that when we were coming up, nobody wanted to touch it. You couldn't talk about it. Oh, it's nothing wrong with you. No, we're not going to see a therapist. No, you're not going to do that. So a lot of us were brought up to hold on to the things that were going on with us, not talk to anybody. So then we raise kids that are doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So if we don't teach it to our kids, and our parents didn't know some stuff, they didn't have half of the resources that we have now. So if they didn't teach it to us, we can't teach it to our kids. So at some point, we have to break the cycle. So for me, I'll reach out to everybody, anybody. You see, I'll go on social media and I'll just let people know, look, I'm here. If you need it, I'm here. You can inbox me. Whatever happens between the conversation that we have is between us. And a lot of people take me up on it. When I first did it, I'm like, I know nobody's going to do it, but for me, I have to be obedient. If God say this is what you need to do, I have to be obedient, and I have to do that. So I'll go on social media and say, God just put this on my heart right now. Somebody needs this. And I'll go out. And the first time I did it, I'm like, I'm just doing it. I know nobody's going to do it, but I actually had quite a few people that reached out to me. I have a lot of young people that reach out to me, that connect with me. It's because I'm a mother of 7. And my kids, with the age range, all of their friends come to my house, and I talk to them, and they all know, once you step foot in my house, you're mine.
That's it.
You do wrong, I'm going to smack you.
Yeah.
I'm going to chastise you. I'm going to discipline you, whatever it is. But if you need me, I'm there.
Yeah.
So as parents, we're real big on beating our kids down. No, you can't do this. I wanted you to do this. Our kids can't be who we want them to be.
Yeah.
They have to be who they are, their own individual selves. And for me, a lot of people don't understand my parenting. A lot of people don't like the way I parent. That's okay. It works for me and my husband, that we parent the way it best works for us. And our way is let experience teach you.
Oh, yeah.
We talk to the kids, if they have issues or whatever, they come to me. My kids come to me and they talk to me about stuff that sometimes I don't want I don't want to talk about this.
You like,
I don't want to hear that.
But I love your parenting style, because it lets kids not even just be free, but understand their relationship. Because when I watch your kids with you, I feel like they feel comfortable to be able to have a relationship. They're not scared. And when I see the traditional parenting, what you find is it's no communication there. You going around like, look what my child got, and look what I do. I ain't letting them do this, and I ain't letting them do that, and this, that, and the third. But these are the same kids that now get referred to you.
Yep.
Because they're acting out. They're doing this stuff. They're doing that. And like you said, you have to let experience, because that's what taught us too.
Yep.
So we can't forget when we was 12, 13.
But we do.
We do.
I get so many parents that come to me and say, I don't understand why they did this. That was so dumb or whatever. And I'm like, you don't remember when you were 17? You might not have done what they're doing, but you did something that made your parents be like, why would you do that?
Why
That
would
was
you
stupid.
do that?
I always reflect back to each one of my kids' age, and I'm like, yeah, at that age, I was doing something dumb. I did this, I did that. So I'm open to them. You know, they come to me, even if they come to me telling me they did something that wasn't the smartest, I'm like, okay, so now what you gonna do?
Well, you make it a learning. In that, again, going back to the communication, it's like, let's dialogue for a moment.
Yep.
About this. Like, what did you learn from this versus, oh, they locked my child up, they did this, and I'm going to cuss them out and this and that. You like, nah.
I'm going to tell you, I have my kids, I tell people all the time, my kids are nowhere near perfect. They're perfect for me, but they're not perfect. They have been in stuff. My kids have been arrested, have been locked up, all of that. Ask them if I came and see them. Ask them if I don't support that.
Yeah.
And half of PG County police officers know me, and they know I'm that mother. You got my child pulled over. I'm not coming at you. I'm coming straight at them. Why you right here? Because why were you even in the situation? Why you put yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
But I allow my kids to make their own mistakes. You got to make a mistake in order for you to learn.
That's
now,
it.
if you repeat the same mistake, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
Then we go from there because you got a problem now. But they have to learn. They got to make their own mistakes. So we have to, if our kids come to us saying, I have children that suffer with depression, we work through it. You know, we try to figure out creative ways to get through it. And sometimes they just don't want to talk about it at all. That's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, I get up sometimes and I just like, I don't want to do it today. You know, I just don't want it. I get up sometimes, I'm sad. It's okay.
It's okay.
Go through that emotion.
Again, the emotion, it's a natural emotion. And I think we rip people apart when they feel like that and like, nah, girl, if you don't get up and this, no.
Yeah.
Let me process through this.
Yep.
And with the
people don't do that.
kids.
They don't do that. They'll tell you, one thing I do not like saying is when somebody say they're going through something and somebody else come back and say, oh, you'll be all right, you strong. What does that mean?
What does it mean?
I'm strong, so I can't feel. I don't go through stuff. I get that a lot. If somebody even think that I'm going through something, they like, oh, Miss V good, she'll be good. Okay, but I'm the type of person that you should be concerned about. Yeah. Because you think I'm good and I had this strong outer look and you don't think that nothing is going on inside. I'm the type of person that can be completely broken inside and you wouldn't even know it. But people will tell you quick, you'll be all right, or it won't entertain digging deeper to see where what's going on. You know, are you going to be okay, or do you have anybody to talk to? People don't do that.
Especially with mental health, especially with a person that's a serial entrepreneur, or you have a big title where you carry a lot of stuff. People just assume that everything is okay.
Yep.
And then when you hear the news where people have committed suicide or did certain acts, and people like, well, no, that couldn't have happened. This person is like, well, why couldn't it?
They had it all together. Yeah. I ain't think that they. That's why you see me go on social media. I say, hey, I'm human. I always remind people, I'm human. My kids are human. My husband's human. We're a human family. We're very unorthodox, but we're human. You know, we're not a typical average. Nothing about us is traditional. We just don't do traditional. We don't. We don't do anything. It works for us.
And that's what I like, because every household is different, and you're not making it seem like, no, this is the end all be all. Yeah. No. I had to do what works for my family, because I have to connect with them. Now, what you do in your family, just like when you counsel other people, you're not trying to put your beliefs on them. You're like, hey, let's figure out
what works for you. Yep.
That's it.
And that's the way you have to be. You have to figure it out. Like, even with nutrition and fitness, I'll go on social media and I see people always, one person can put up one thing about something that worked for them, a diet, and before you know it, everybody's on that diet.
Yep.
Everything don't work for everybody.
It doesn't.
Don't ever come to me and tell me what to eat.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
I'm not that one. Please don't do that. If you see me in the store somewhere, if I got a bag of chips in my hand, leave me alone.
Yeah. All that, I don't eat meat. You shouldn't eat. You don't know what my blood type is.
It works for some people and some people don't. You need it. And most of the people that's doing this don't know their body type.
Yeah.
They don't know their blood type. They don't know what their body actually need that the other person's body don't need. So they don't know. They just jumping on and then just going with it and then try to figure out why it's not working. Because it's not meant for you.
Yeah. And even thinking about that, same thing with mental illness, because some people may say, well, I don't want no medicine, and I ain't never taken no medicine, because this person told me all I had to do was this, and I'd be fine. It's like, well, who did you get evaluated by? Who told you that? And everybody got their pros and cons with medication. Like, no, I'm not putting my child, but did you really do a thorough so you can see if that needs to happen? Yeah, so we got a caller, you guys.
Oh, somebody calling.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Welcome to the Breakthrough Lounge.
Well, thank you.
Hi,
Mama.
Mama called on in.
You got an awesome young lady sitting next to you.
Oh, yes, I know.
She's a phenomenal young lady. Her father and her brother in heaven and myself are so proud of her.
Oh.
Absolutely.
We are so proud of her. She's an awesome mama. She's a caring person. She has done a great job with picking out a husband. I have an awesome son-in-law. I have great grandkids, and I just wanted to call in and let you know and how much I love you. You know I love you.
Thank you, Mother. I love you
to
too.
The moon and back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. That is too funny.
Ciao. That's my biggest supporter right there.
That is amazing. And it just made me think about even with going to the mental illness, especially when you have moms and daughters, that bond, that broken bond, and how they don't have that connection. So just hearing that, it's like, wow. Yes, hello.
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 All right, I'm a little on a delay because I'm looking at
That's my
looking at it
husband.
on the phone. I think the phone is a little delayed. Anyway,
Turn the radio down.
turn it down.
That's my husband.
I got the kids here. Turn the radio down.
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear it now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, husband.
Hello. I just wanted to piggyback on what my mother-in-law said. Yes, she did pick a awesome husband.
You know what?
See.
She's Valancia is it's just, I can't even say too many words because it's just a lot going on. I mean, she's a beautiful person. I mean, inside and out. I just to let everybody know that. I mean, and when I say inside, I mean inside her house. She's the same person.
The same.
She doesn't change. She's like I said, she's genuine, and that's all I can say. I love her so much, and I don't know what I would do without her.
Oh. Hi, Munchkin.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, husband, for calling. I love you too. See you, Munchkin. Okay.
That is so funny. So, you guys, if you want to just chime into this conversation, we're talking about mental health in the community. Call in at 240-719-2560. juicy topic because this is just big in our community, and we're seeing people who the resources is out here, you guys, but some of you guys are not taking advantage. And I hear so many people say, well, it's nowhere to go. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? It's vans now, that's pulling up and, trying to help people as much as possible because they seeing the increase of the drugs in our community with the synthetic marijuana. People just turn into all types of things when it comes to mental health. So don't say it's not any resources, you guys. Like,
they out here.
They out here. So what are some of the resources in Maryland? Because I know about D.C., but I'm not too familiar with Maryland.
In Maryland, I always tell people to go to Department of Social Services is a huge resource because they will connect you with a lot of different people. It's a lot of like private sectors out here as well, but like people can utilize social media is good for some stuff.
Yeah.
If you go on social media, I know I've done it myself. I go on social media, hey, any whatever on my timeline, any therapist on my timeline, anybody, any life coaches, go to social media and you'll be surprised at what you would come up with. You come up with a lot of things, but you have to utilize your resources. People go to social media for
everything else.
Everything except certain things like that because they don't want people to know that they're in need of that. So that's why, they won't do it. So that's why every now and then I'll put my stuff on there and then hope that people will share and people will inbox, you know, and then just go from there.
Yes, we got another caller.
Hi, this is Lorraine.
Hey, Lorraine.
How are you, ladies?
Good.
Hi, Lorraine.
Hey, I just want to say that Valencia is an awesome manager. I have been with her for 2 years, and I can say that I have truly grown as an artist and as a person. In the beginning, I didn't understand her way of managing because, you're so used to your own way.
Yeah.
And then you got to kind of adapt to somebody else's way. And she got on me a lot.
She pulled you together. She gathered them edges, honey, didn't she?
Yes. But I just want to say, y'all, she is an awesome lady. I love her dearly. My husband loves her dearly. She not only manages me, she now manages my daughter Deja. And like I said, being under her, I have truly grown. Not just an artist, but now a director and a playwright. So I owe that all to Valencia. God placed her in my life for a reason.
Oh, sugar.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Love you, B.
Love you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so you guys, I'm telling you, you have to reach out to her. You see the calls. So phenomenal person, down to earth. So if you come, she gonna give you all the way real. So don't come foolery. I'm trying to tell you. So if you want to know the real about life coaching, come ready to work, you guys, because I know for me, I've gone through life coaching with somebody else before. And one thing that can be so frustrating in this line of work is you not doing your part. You can't expect the life coach or anybody, the therapist, to come and make magic. They're not magicians, you guys. You got to be ready to do the work that is required. There's going to be assignments. There's going to be things that it's going to be tough. Life coaching is not easy, you guys, especially as a client. You got to come to relive all of that stuff, and to make her job a lot better, you got to work. So, work. Welcome, caller.
Hello, this is Thaddeus, Valencia, my cousin. Nancy, I just wanted to call and say you are truly an amazing young lady.
Aww.
if it ever meant anything, just let you know I am so very glad to have you as my cousin, and I am just astounded by the many lives that you have touched.
Thank you.
And at some point, I gotta get with you.
Goodbye.
Brother, close or get if you understand what I'm saying. So, hey, we'll be in touch. God bless you, dear. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh.
So that is so awesome, you guys. I'm telling you, once you connect it to Miss V, this happens. This happens. But I wanted to ask you, coming from a life coach standpoint, like, what are you looking for in your clients? Even though I touched on, like, they have to do the work, like, stress the importance of that.
Just being open and flexible. One of the things that I always ask when people come to me is, are you sure you're ready? Because when you come and you say, I need to figure out why I can't move past a certain point, you have to dig deep. You got to scratch the surface, and you got to figure out, where is it starting at to hold you back? I had to do it with myself. I had to literally strip myself of everything and piece by piece rebuild myself. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So only thing I ask is that you're open and you're honest. I can't help you if you're not. If you coming to me and you telling me bits and pieces and you keeping back the stuff that's really valuable to your growth, I can't help you. Yeah. So, I mean, it's simple. It's not hard. A lot of people get intimidated, I've been told, by my demeanor. And it's like, I'm just a serious natured person. Thanks to my dad, that's just how I am. But when you get to know me, you know I'm very down to earth. I'm fun. I'm all of those things. But I just don't have, my time is extremely valuable to me. Don't waste my time. Yeah. And I'm just no nonsense. I always have been.
And that's the best type of coach to get, you guys. Let me tell you something. When you see somebody show up for their self like that and you know that they're valuable, like, you know not to play with them. Like, you know that you're going to mean business. So I want you guys to call in, because this topic, and I know some of you guys are probably, going through with this. 240-719-2560, because some of you guys probably on the fence, are like, should I do it? Shouldn't I? Yes, you should do it. Welcome, caller.
Hello, my name is Miss Rila.
Hi, Miss Rila.
I'm just calling because I know Miss B, a.k.a. Miss Valancia Clipper Davis, when she was 18 and 19 years old. And even as a young person, her work ethic and her ability to be firm. I was scared of Miss B.
Yeah.
You ain't have to say that, Miss Rita.
I love her so much because she inspired me. I'm 26 in spirit, but age.
See.
I have to say, to watch her grow and to become the person she's inspired me so much. I follow her because she's an inspiration to me, and I know there's so many, and I'm so thankful God to place her in my life, even when I was afar and close, and I'm so proud, and I'm going to be forever following her, and she won't and don't realize she's my manager.
You better say it, Mama. Say it.
I love you, Miss Rita.
Say it, Miss Rita. Say it.
And the people she coming, we are blessed to have her in our life one way or however. And I'm going to keep letting her inspire me. And I have to go now because I have to go rehearse my voice for my big day.
Oh, no. Right. Goodbye.
You better
Thank
work.
you, Rita.
Better work.
She is not allowed to sing. She's
not allowed.
Not allowed.
This is just so funny because so many people are like, they love, and then you get clients that say you hardcore, you tough. But I love it. I love hardcore. I love tough because you know you're going to get it done.
And I'm hard on them. I'm extremely hard on my clients because I see the potential. and I know what they're capable of. Some of them, I see it, and they don't even see it. So my job, you hire me to bring that out of you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be hard. I'm hard on them just like I'm hard on my kids.
Yeah.
And all of my kids
and
are...
everybody in your circle.
So
it's not even just my kids, your clients. Anybody
I'm
in
the
your
same
circle,
way.
same way.
All
same
across
way.
the board.
Everybody needs that circle. You need that mentality so you won't have those stragglers.
Right.
They not even going to attach themselves to you because they're like, okay, I know I can't come over there with no foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's a good thing. Hey, caller.
Hi, Lonnie. It's LaToya.
Hey, LaToya.
Hey, so I have a question. I think this is a very good topic. But my question is, one, how would you find, what's the best way to find the best life coach for you? Because everybody out here is saying they're a life coach. You get certified in a day or two, but how do you know who's right for you?
My advice is you're going to have to go and meet with multiple people because you got to make sure that your personalities connect. If you get a life coach that say their consultation fee is like $300, they're not for you. Because for me, and this is just me, I don't charge for a consultation because I feel like that's our way to talk, connect, and see if we need to even move forward. So I feel like you have to meet with several different people. Even if you have a telephone conversation, some things you can just pick up over the phone. But you have to talk to different people because you're right. Every time I look up, and I'm a little in my feelings because I had people saying, girl, I got my life coaching certification online the other day. I'm like, wait, I had to do all this schooling. And you telling me you went, wait,
or
what?
didn't have no life experience or haven't done their own work.
Yep.
That's what's bothering me about so many people. It's like, you didn't do your own work. You still showing up all types of ugly on the inside.
Yep.
No sisterhood, no nothing. Like, what did you do?
Yep.
And that kind of tells me, that's what drawed me to the life coach I had at the time. It was the showing up and the presence. And I was like, oh, and like you said, her consultation was free. She's like, before we even go into any type of coins or anything, I need to see if this is going to be a fit.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. Because you don't charge
need
nobody to see, okay, I'm going to charge you and have a conversation with you. Oh, this is not going to work, but I still got your money already. That's, I don't.
Especially with life coaching
No.
because it's so sensitive. You're playing with somebody's life who's already coming to you at their wits' end and like, I need help. I done already been through therapy. I done been through this. Now I'm just looking for this other person to kind of help me. So I'm like, if they don't want to work with me and I'm now out of $300, like, where do I go from there?
Now you going to give me something.
Oh, yeah. Something. A session or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's what I would say. I would say, like, just do your research. Word of mouth is amazing. And talk to people on if other people are seeing a specific life coach, ask them why. You know, and then ask them what their method is and what worked for them and what didn't work for them. And, I mean, again, a person can be amazing. Like, I feel like I do my job, but I know I'm not for everybody. My way of doing it is not for everybody. So, you know, it just depends.
Okay.
So do your research, girl.
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome. Yes, because that, you know, again with the mental health, because I hear, you know, we know life coaching is not free. It's not Medicaid. It's not the insurances. So it is an investment, you guys. Some people like going to therapy. Therapy didn't work for me. I felt like it was just me keep coming the same hour every week. And I'm like, ain't nothing getting done. Welcome, caller.
Yes. So my question is, with all the responsibilities that she takes on of other people's, what is her outlet? Because the strong people always need an outlet.
That's true.
Thank you, Johnny.
But
I
I'm quite
appreciate
sure
that question.
this coach got a coach. This coach got
Absolutely.
a mentor.
Every therapist has a therapist. Every coach has a coach.
Should.
You have to have a outlet. Trust me when I say I will pour it out. I don't hold nothing back. My husband is huge. One thing about my husband is he's the only person in this world that can say to me something in a critical way that is going to be effective and beneficial to me, and I won't take it to heart. Anybody else can say it, and I'm like, wait, hold up. They just came at me wrong. But with him, I know where it's coming from, and I know why he's saying it. He's very critical, and he's very specific about stuff. So he knows that I take on a whole lot, so he pays attention to certain things. So he even know if I'm taking on too much, he'll tell me, I need to chill out. I need to relax. I need to take some time back. And, you know, so I have my outlet, Johnny. I definitely appreciate you being concerned.
Appreciate that question, because that's important.
I mean, that's just being real.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to get you, but I appreciate it.
Hey, catch me if you can, like the gingerbread man. Bye.
Bye.
And you know what? Him bringing that up, you always post a lot about that too. About, you know, adults need mentors.
Adults need mentors. Yep.
That's
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand that. People be like, "What you mean you need a mentor? Not your friends."
Yeah.
No, because sometimes our friends are going to handicap us. Sometimes, and I say all the time, I can't deal with the friends that won't check me when I need to be checked. I need friends that's going to be strong enough to pull me to the side and say, "B, you wrong.
You what are you doing?
You wrong." I need those friends. If you can't do that, I can't have you around me like that.
Yeah.
But your friends should not be your outlet. I mean, yeah, talk to your friends about stuff when you need to talk to them. But your initial outlet where you need to just really let it out, you need a mentor.
Yeah. Yeah, and that mentor is so deep. That the coach, somebody you can really dig in your stuff. You know, you wrong. You know, so that's just a big thing with, you know, life coaching. Again, even with LaToya was saying, make sure you find somebody that's just not taking your money and telling you what you want to hear, and you really not getting the impact. It's not breaking any barriers. And one thing came up for me, and I remember us having this conversation, even people in business, the way they do business, and you can tell it's some mental things there, but they won't do their work. Yep. And they'll show up for everything.
In every aspect of your life.
It don't hide. I always say, if you don't deal, it deals with you.
Yep.
And you got to address those things, you know. Don't hide it. Don't say, I ain't got depression. That's everybody else. And it's like, okay, what if you did? That doesn't make you less than a person if that's what you have.
Right.
You know, just seek the right help. Well, my therapist said I ain't had this. Or my person said, who are they? Did you get a whole eval done? And you'd be surprised, a lot of people have not really, when you talk about eval, they're like, eval, what's that?
What's that? Yep.
I only went to a therapist, they said, I'm like, no. Go get a whole eval.
Yeah.
Like, if it runs in your family, if it's like a known factor, you may want to get the whole workup done.
Yeah. People scared. A lot of people scared to dig deep. And it is a scary situation because when you think, I got to dig deep and go back to my childhood, like,
that I tried to run from.
I don't know if I want to do that. So, and it's even if you've had from what you can remember, an amazing childhood, but it still may be little small things that affected you and you don't even realize it.
Because you know, the first thing when you think about mental health and you talk about childhood trauma, the first thing people say is, well, my mother wasn't on drugs.
Right.
They didn't do it. I didn't get abused.
Yep.
My father was dead. You like, no one said you experienced any of those things. There's other forms of trauma. I've met people who had both parents in the household, and we seen the narcissist behavior or some of the divorce, maybe anything that could have happened, that doesn't mean that they had to be using something.
Yep.
You
But
know?
that's what people just stick to, these certain things, and then they don't understand that it's broader than that. And like for me, when I had to really dig deep, I dug so deep that I realized that my father passing when I was 6 had a huge effect on me throughout my life. And I mean, I knew that I always had that missing link. I had that missing piece. I'm like, I love my father right now to this day. I am a daddy's girl. Never in a million years did I realize how it would affect me. And I'm like, as I kept digging deep, I'm just like, this affected me more than I thought. You know, and then after my brother was murdered, it's like my life paused, and then I just started existing. Not living, but just existing. You know, and just moving on. And, you know, I had to make sure everybody else was okay. So it took me a minute for me to really grieve and mourn his death. So, you know, different things happen, and it don't have to be, you know, my mother failed, my father failed, you know, this person did this to me, it don't have to be. It's just life things that can happen in your childhood that has an effect on you in your adulthood.
That's it. And I think people so need to hear this, because every time I say childhood trauma, the first thing people say is, well, my mother wasn't on drugs. I don't have the same story you have. Like, no one's saying you did. Anything could have happened. You know, maybe your favorite grandma passed away, and that affected. I see a lot of that.
All of those
siblings.
Things. Yep.
You know, you could have had a bad disaster. Maybe a house fire happened and you so traumatized from fire. Anything life impact, it could have really caused a lot of trauma. So I really want people to get that out their head, like that you had to be touched or drugs or alcohol. That is not everybody's story.
Yeah, trauma is deeper than that. I was raised with all boys. My cousins, one of the ones that called in, it was so many boys and I was the only girl. That was traumatic.
Right. Yeah.
Because they tortured me half the time. They let me talk to nobody. They didn't want me to do nothing. That was traumatic. And it affected me as I'm coming up because it made me hard. Something else that I'm just like, why am I so hard?
Like the aggressive tone.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. My brothers would tell me, if you go outside and this happened, I'm going to beat you up. You come in here and this. And I'm just like, I got to go out there and beat them up.
Yeah. And a lot of us in our community have grown up like that. You couldn't come in the house and tell them you got whooped by nobody. You got sent back out
I had too many to go through. I had to. And my mother was at work. She ain't know. She probably watching now like, they did what? She was at work. She ain't know. But I mean, things like that. Like, it wasn't a bad thing because in their mind, I'm protecting you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm protecting you. We don't, as we're going through stuff, we don't think, how is this going to affect them later on?
Yeah.
So now I try to be conscious of that because with my kids, I'm not affectionate at all. But my husband is very affectionate. So they have that balance. I'm not affectionate, but I have the kids that will force me to be affectionate. Like Kaylin, my 9-year-old.
Yes.
You can tell her that you don't want a hug. She don't care. She's going to give you a hug. She don't care. So I'm trying to be conscious of how is this going to affect them later on because I don't want them to be hard like me. My oldest son is hard like me. I already see things that I did coming as they were coming up. I see it now, and I'm like,
yeah,
I should have pulled back a little bit because that's me, you know.
And we don't realize it.
But I'm not beating myself up.
No.
You know, and that's the thing.
And
like,
it's just being
things
honest.
Happen. You don't have to beat yourself up about it.
And just
try
being
to correct
honest.
it. Just try to correct it as you go.
And I just think that was so important because so many people have these issues and then they'll just keep blaming it on the kid. Like, it's like, but that behavior came from somewhere.
Right.
Point it back to you. Just own it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. This is why I'm right here.
Even when you don't want to.
Even when you don't want to. So, you know, you guys got to do better as parents. We got to do better in just owning it, so we not making the kids feel like they crazy or something, because that behavior came from somewhere. They learned it. They only do what they see. And one of the big things I wanted to talk about with mental health, mental illness and health, is about relationships. We talk about everything else in relationships, but nobody, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine today, why don't that come up? Like, really, what is your background? Then we wonder why we get in relationships and then a person spaz out and they be like, man, they crazy and this and that. Man, she flipped out on me or he did this. I'm like, how deep did you dig?
We don't know enough. We don't know enough. Me and my kids have this conversation all the time, and I tell my boys and my girls, if you get in a relationship or if you meet somebody that don't have a relationship with their mother or their father, run for the border. Because, and I say that because of our relationship. They're not going to be able to relate. They don't understand. And we've gone through this. Me and my kids have gone through this. You get in a relationship with somebody that don't have that connection or that bond with their mother, they're going to have a problem with your bond with your mother because they don't understand it. Nope. They don't know what that look like. To them, I'm overbearing. I do too much. I'm sitting back being a mother to my kids. We got that bond. You know,
and
that's
they don't
not
know
a
what
fault.
that's like. Yeah.
You know, but we don't do enough research. And we're guilty of it. You know, coming up, we ain't doing enough research. We don't know enough history. We don't know why this person do that. We overlook a lot. We overlook so much. So now, because I know I made the mistakes of doing that, and I know I try to tell my kids, okay, this is what you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to force them. I'm just going to throw it out there. If you do, you do. If you don't, then you'll see why I said it later on. You know? But one of the main things I always tell my kids is I don't know everything. Just because I'm your parent don't mean I know everything. I'm learning too. Y'all teach me all the time. You know, I tell them that all the time. So I don't know everything. Everybody think I do. I can find, if I don't know, I'll find it.
Yep,
I will tell you that. I will find it, but I don't know everything. And I think that's important for parents to let their kids know so that they'll know my mother's not walking around just being a know-it-all.
Right.
No, I don't know everything.
But mothers got that energy they can feel when certain people around their kids. They're like, need you to watch that person. Even if it's not in a romantic relationship, right? Even if it's just friendship, you can kind of look at their friends and was like, well, where their mom at? Where their dad? And again, that friend can start to be envious of that relationship. Just all types of stuff. So you guys pay attention to these signs, especially dating people, because we seeing a lot of foolishness in the media where people are taking the significant other's life, killing the kids, all of these type of like we seeing a lot of this stuff, and you're like, okay, why did you have to get a baby? What's going on? Some of that stuff was the red flags was already there. Yeah, but because you're still walking around with that abandonment spirit because you're looking for something. So you just attach yourself to that individual and they're like, oh yeah, that's a good way for me to get in.
Also, we try to save people. You know,
that codependent.
People come in our life and she need me right now or he need me. I can help. I can save him. It's deeper than you.
Way deeper. Everybody
you can save them by telling them to get some help.
That's it. Everybody not our assignment. And remember, it was a meme or a post that was going around
I put that thing up
save
like
your
3
oil,
times.
Save your oil, save your breath, because a lot of people just come to suck your energy dry. And when you give them the resources to go, how many times that happen when you sit on the phone with people, give them 50 million resources, and then they go somewhere else, and then they come right back to you, and you're like, hold on, it's 3 years later, and you still ain't got no help.
Yep.
I thought you said you found somebody over there. You still ain't got no help? Get the help you need. You can't run. You cannot run. Mental illness, it shows up. So it don't matter how many businesses you change, because we see a lot of that.
Nope.
You over here selling flowers. You're doing fat burners. Then next week you're doing Herbalife. Then next week you're doing jewelry. Guess what? It don't matter.
It's gonna follow you to each one.
Help. Get the help that you need so you can show up differently. Whatever help you need, don't run from it. If the doctor say you need to be taking these pills, so that anxiety, do whatever the doctor tell you to do. Don't escape it. Don't take it one day and say tomorrow I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm not big on the medicine side, but when it's recommended, I always tell people, do your research on it.
Yeah.
You know, because again, all medicine is not good for all people.
It's not.
You know, so what may work for another person to help mellow them out may have you hallucinating. You know, so it just,
because
it
does have a lot of effects.
Yep.
You know, different things, and it could cause even more increased stuff. One thing I've learned, like things that trigger you, kind of stay away from them things that you know that brings up.
But some people don't know what their triggers are.
Yeah.
Some people will spaz out, and they're just so used to doing it, they just spaz out, and they can't even think back to what triggered them.
And that's where that therapy and that coaching
because you're taught. I know I do. I teach people to pay attention to their triggers. I teach people to pay attention to their stressors, because wherever your stressor is, your trigger is not too far. So I teach people to pay attention to all of those things. I don't do stress. I don't have time for it. Me and stress, we not friends. We're not friends at all. I can't do it. I pray on it and keep it moving. Yep.
And that's one of the things I had to learn, like going back to my journal, like, hold on. This brings up a lot, and it's causing me to be off balance. And what happens if I'm off balance here, I'm off balance there, and I'm off balance there, and now I'm just off balance. So now one of the things I had to learn about me, even with my dance program, is like, Lonnie, you're good at this, connecting with these type of parents with this. This over here does not make sense, and it is causing all of this. Leave that alone. And keep it. Leave it. Don't come back to it. Don't revisit it. Nothing. Because we already know what that looks like. Because I know, you know, having those conversations with certain parents, I'm like, oh no, I ain't got time. This is too much for me.
If you got to revamp your program 50 million times, revamp it until it makes sense to you.
Yeah. And not worry about what other people think. Because a lot of times we know what triggers us, and we'll go back to it and be like, well, this person said this, or I think this will work. No, what do you know for sure about yourself? What do you know for sure? And you just stick with it. So what is some coping or just some tools that you think people need to know about mental health that, you know, probably can help them with stress? Or
my number one thing is writing. Writing is the number one. Writing is so therapeutic.
Love journals.
It is so therapeutic. I tell people all the time, write. I had 50,000 books all over the place. And I'm like, which one did I write? I write different things in different books, and then I just bring them all together, but I go back to them. I reflect back on them, and I'm like, okay, this is where I was at last week. Oh, okay, I've gone past that. So writing is very therapeutic. Again, write them stresses down. If you realize that I was at work today and Joe Bob walked through the door and I instantly got a headache, write it down. Joe Bob is a stressor. So I need to minimize my time around him. You know, so then you got to figure out, why is he a stressor? You know, you got to pay attention to all those things. I used to be around people that were stressors to me, and I had to figure out why. Then I realized as I dug a little deeper, like they reminded me of people. you know? And I'm like, that ain't fair to them. They don't know.
They
They
don't
remind
even
me of that person.
So
Why
that
is
means
fair to them?
you got to now
I
deal
got
with
the issue. It's not them, it's me.
And so many
And
people.
a lot of us don't want to own our stuff. We don't want to own our stuff. We want to put it off on everybody else. I'm quick to tell you, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will tell you, I'm going to own it. I'm going to apologize for it. If you say I was out of line or I did this and that, don't go tell somebody else. Come and tell me.
That's it. That's
Come
it.
and tell
Y'all
me.
hear that?
I will own it.
It's not a circle.
You know what I'm saying? And if I feel like, no, I didn't mean it like that, I'm not going to say to you, well, I ain't mean it like that, because it's not up to me to say how you were supposed to receive something that I said.
Right.
Just because I didn't put it out there like that don't mean that you weren't supposed to receive it like that. I can't say you're wrong because you received something in a way that I didn't mean to put it out.
Right.
So that's another thing. Like, you have to pay attention and be open to, sometimes it's you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always everybody else.
Yeah.
If you don't own your own.
And knowing that why is this person triggering you? Like, really dig deep. You know, why every time you see a female you want to cuss them out? Oh, is that because you ain't had no relationship with your mama? Oh, it's just so much deeper, and you really gotta go there. So you guys, this is like, I love this topic because so many people need to hear about mental illness in our community, especially a lot of us that's in business, that's going around trying to play like everything is okay, and it's really not. Even the ones who have the 9-to-5, how you showing up at your job, all of these things, but there are resources out there. Maryland, like she said, Department of Social Service, DC, same thing. They got vans now, you guys, that will come to you. They got the 24-hour hotlines that respond quickly. So if you feeling that urge and you feel like you don't have support and you're like, I'm just down, those hotlines, people answer. Because guess what? I've had to make a few phone calls in the middle of the night like, I'm off. Something is not right. So don't ever feel like, oh my God, you know, I'm feeling crazy. You're going to be crazy not to get the help.
Yep.
That's going to be the issue. Don't you have yourself in those situations because you worried about what somebody going to think about you, and then something happened when you could have got the help. So I want you to share with them all your resources, or how they can contact you, how they can find you, all that good stuff.
The best way to find me is, my website is www.valenciasworld7.info. Facebook, it is Valencia Clipper Davis.
No,
Is that what it is?
Not Instagram.
Instagram it is at Valencia's World. Facebook is Valencia Clipper Davis.
I know these things. I follow her.
But again, the website is valenciasworld7.info.
Yep, you guys. So if you're looking for a life coach, nutritionist, homeschool educator, because I know some of y'all, you know, a little discouraged about what's going on in our county. So you want to pull your babies out. Got somebody right here, daycare, volunteer stuff. If your kids are in high school, need some community service hours, just know that they're going to work. That part. So they're not just coming to collect hours. They're going to work. And if you have raw talent, if you have some raw talent looking for a management company that's serious, very professional, just quality about their business, reach out to her. So you guys, this has been a phenomenal show. I love it. So if you're catching the replay, go back, take some notes, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you protect your peace of mind, because it's all about you. So until next time, I'll see you. Be safe, stay encouraged, and be blessed. And I'll see you next time in the Breakthrough Lounge. Love you guys. Good night.
Night. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.